Welcome back, Montreal. Beryl Wiseman out of the Suburban here on the Suburban Radio Hour with my good friends and colleagues, Anthony Bonaparte, features editor, Mark Lidbetter, sports editor, and Mike Cohen with all you need to know about entertainment society news. Anthony, you've got your radiant presence today. I kid you. I've been bugging him why he's thoughtful.
I'm in a good mood today. We have a very
fine.
special guest on air. We've had her on before. We're having her on again today. A columnist, Judy Amiot. How you doing, Judy?
I'm doing very well, thank you, sir.
You wrote a great column that many of us can relate to, sadly, the topic of couples breaking up. What made you want to write this? What message did you want to get across?
Well, it's funny that you should say it's a column that couples can, or a lot of people can relate to, because I figured with a title like that, people are going to not be able to relate to it and wonder what the heck I'm talking about, throwing in slippers, cake, and a chainsaw all together. What made me write this was a recent lunch that we had for my daughter's birthday a couple of months ago, where we all got together as a family and celebrated her birthday and came in, took off our shoes, put on our fuzzy warm slippers, sat around, chatted, had a very warm atmosphere, sat down, had a meal. She had her birthday cake, and we all sat there for a while and just enjoyed each other's company as a family unit. And afterwards, as we were leaving, I jokingly said to her, hey, I should write a column called Slippers, Cake, and a Chainsaw. The chainsaw came out of nowhere, because there was certainly no chainsaw at the dinner table. But we laughed, and then she said, you know what, it's not funny. You can do it. And I said, I don't think so. Nobody's going to be able to relate to this, and how am I going to pull these three topics together and make them make sense? And she said, Mom, you can do it. So I came home, and I sat down, and I thought a little bit about it, and I thought about family units and how sometimes they dissolve, and how children are affected very negatively, and how that's not the case in my personal situation. We all get along super well, and my kids, of course, are adults, so they're looking at this situation through the eyes of an adult, not through the eyes of a toddler. And I just don't think it's fair for families who are in this situation to be putting their children through, let's just say, a personal kind of hell that maybe the parents are going through. Children should always be able to be in a warm and loving atmosphere, regardless of how the parents feel for each other. So I just sat down and I just put my heart on paper, and there you have it.
It's very well written, very touching also, because I've got some. We all know people, and we all know couples who have gone through situations like this, and some of them have very young kids, some of them have older kids, and it's really important to try to maintain a certain level of civility.
That's
in the
right.
family.
That's absolutely true.
Because you want to avoid long-term consequences, like one partner being, in a sense, ostracized or, by the other.
You don't want to speak badly of the other partner, and it's interesting to watch your adult children's reactions. Of my two children, they're both taking this very differently. So it's been interesting to see how this is evolving for them as well.
Well, I envy, like crazy, the friends of mine who have been with their significant others for forever. Not easy. Judy, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me on again. I loved it.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, that was great with Jude, but Jude's got an edge sometimes on certain subjects. She's and to make a happier subject, Anthony, we have our lovely,
bubbly,
wonderful,
bubbly.
She's not going to like you calling her bubbly.
I just did.
I know, but she's not going to like it. I know she's not going to like it.
Okay.
Will you, Jen?
I'll take it back then.
Jen?
Do you have a thesaurus in front of you when you do your intros for me? There's so many colorful adjectives.
I have no thesaurus. It's all in my mind.
I was going to say effervescent, but he cut me off.
Effervescent is good. I like effervescent.
I was getting to that one.
Effervescent is very good.
Okay, thank
Dynamic.
You.
Dynamic.
Dynamic, yes. Okay.
Oh, you're always so good for my ego,
Do you like that?
Yes.
Bubbly personality.
Stop with the bubbly. He used bubbly already. That got in trouble.
No, he used effervescent.
No, first he used bubbly. He was going to use effervescent.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Jen.
You never know what's going on the other end of that. Other end of that line.
So, FYI.
Why do I always feel with Jen like she walked in and she caught me with my hand in the cookie jar, or both of us with our hands.
Because it's a pattern, Beryl, with you. Walk into a room, Beryl Wiseman, there's something was done.
As opposed to you, Mr. Innocent.
I'm not like you, okay?
Meaning? You're mainly more secretive.
I
Go ahead.
tend to be
ahead.
to be a bit less
effusive. I understand. Go ahead.
Ebullient.
Ebullient, definitely less ebullient. Ebullient and Anthony would not put together. It's like ebony and ivory, but you know.
FYI, that's our a monthly online mag. Are you still talking?
Yes, Jen is actually laughing right now. She's covering up her mouth. Right. I know. I'm getting these laughing vibes.
Jen is actually saying, "Shut up, Beryl." That's what she's saying.
I'm going to shut up.
Thank you.
I'm just sitting here politely waiting for the segue. That's all I'm doing.
Take 3. FYI, I'm staring at Beryl now to see if he's going to open his mouth. Wow, 4 straight seconds of quiet. He's biting his fingers. Okay, he's turning purple. Okay. Dropped on Friday.
I quit.
And it's packed with interesting stories, including profiles of Suburban family pet day performers. What do you do about that? What did you do a few of those, Jen?
I did, yeah, I did. So FYI is our special features section that comes out online every month. And for the June edition, we profiled a lot of the entertainers and musicians. We have Pat the Reptile Guy. We have Shawnee, who's a kids performer. They're all going to be providing their wonderful services at our Family and Pet Day June 15th. In Beaconsfield at Centennial Park. This is a totally free event all day long. It's for kids, it's for dogs, it's for adults. There's going to be food trucks and vendors and everything that you need to make a perfect summer day in Montreal, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. So, we profile a lot of entertainers in the FYI section this month.
And Beryl will be there.
There
you go. The blog section.
Why does that have to be thrown in?
I want to make sure that the listeners know that you're going to be there. You're the big attraction of the paper. And in case anybody wants to have more incentive to show up.
And you will be there too.
Yes, I will be there. Right next to you, Beryl.
The big incentive is Jen being there.
There you go. And the kids and the pets. And
there you go.
All right.
The food trucks and...
Got it.
Did I mention food trucks?
Yes.
Okay.
You have mentioned those food trucks quite a bit.
And Jen's bringing her cookies for us.
Yes. In the blog section, you had a parenting post on organizing kids' spaces.
Yeah, that's right. So over at thesuburban.com, in our blog section, we have a lot of different summer content that's going up right now. And yeah, I just did an article on organizing kids' spaces. The school year is finally wrapping up. Hallelujah. And it's a really good time to just maybe give those kids' spaces a little sprucing up before we go into summer. So if people head over to the Suburban.com blog section, lots of good summer content over there.
What else do you have online this week?
Well, we heard some sad news this week that the beloved West Park Pool in Dollar des Ormeaux is not opening this year. The city released a statement saying very vaguely why they were not opening. They just said they tried and just weren't able to get things together in time to open. The other pools in the area are accepting memberships, but our own videographer Jesse went out to do a streeter and speak to some local residents about their feelings about this pool closing, because people are really upset about it. They've spent many, many summers at that pool, and the idea of having a summer without it seems hard to imagine. So Jesse did a video that will be on TikTok, and people can see the reaction to West Park Pool not opening this year.
Very cool. And you played this game online this week called Would You Rather, the Montreal edition. What's that all about? All
right, so Would You Rather is a fun little family game that we play on car road trips or at the dinner table. Usually when you play with kids, it involves silly Would You Rathers. You know, would you rather kiss a frog or hold a tarantula, silly questions like that. But I thought, Montreal has a lot of good and bad things about it. And so I did a few would you rather questions online thinking people might want to play along. So do you guys want to play a quick little game of would you rather?
Sure.
All right. I want to know, would you rather have a Montreal bagel or a smoked meat sandwich? Which one is your favorite?
Beryl.
Why can't I have a smoked meat in the bagel?
Good answer.
Oh.
Good answer.
Very good.
Hedging, but good answer.
It's got to be on rye with a lot of mustard.
It should, preferably.
And medium.
Preferably. But okay, how about I rephrase the question. Yeah. What's more Montreal, the bagel or the smoked meat?
That's a good question, too.
Well, I'll go with smoked meat.
The smoked meat is because it's done differently here.
Yeah, it's not like New York corned beef.
It's not different.
And you can find different versions of bagels, right, around the world, but like smoked meat's very specific to here.
Yes, but be very careful, Jen. There is no bagel like a Montreal bagel.
It's true. That's true.
It really is.
Both of them are iconic Montreal items. You can't find the same thing anywhere else. What else do you have?
All right, so would you rather take a stroll down St. Catherine Street or St. Laurent Street? So I would consider those two of our main thoroughfares. Is there one over the other that you like to take a nice stroll down? St. Catherine Street's not as great as it used to be, I don't think.
It depends which decade we're talking about.
Well,
which stretch
section
of road.
That's
still
there
in
was
one
nothing
piece.
like
Walkable.
walking down St. Catherine in the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take that over at St. Laurent.
Nah, it's Saint Laurent North for me.
I remember Saint Laurent back in the 80s and 90s. That was a pretty cool area of bars back then that I thought was pretty hot. Today I have no clue what's there.
Saint Laurent is just fine.
Next question.
All right, got one more. We'll do one more here. Would you rather have less potholes or less orange cones?
Did you say pot?
Holes.
Oh, sorry.
Holes.
A pothole or street construction? I don't know what's worse.
Mark?
Less orange cones because you can avoid the potholes, but you can't avoid those bloody orange cones.
Good thought.
That is good.
That's very good.
True. Well, if people want to head over to thesuburban.com, there's a few more other Montreal Would You Rather questions and just kind of garner some fun conversation and debate, perhaps.
And make up your own, exactly.
And there you go.
Have a great week, Ben. Jen.
Thanks, guys. You too.
See you Saturday. Oh, God, she's terrific.
In the most recent features section, Dr. Mitch gave us a word of warning, a few words of warning. You know, there's a number of predictable tragedies that happen every year at this time of year when the weather gets warmer, like pool accidents at the home and at the cottage, and people, not taking heat as serious as they should. So he gave us some very good advice on what to do and what to avoid. And coming up in the feature section, we have Mitch again talking about offering tips about how to avoid, how to have a sickness-free summer, as much as possible. In other words, if you're traveling, make sure you have your prescriptions with you, things like that. Good list of pieces of advice. And
have your gin and tonics.
Well, exactly.
Only Mad Dogs and Englishmen go to the midday sun. But
Precisely.
they bounced off with gin.
Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Rudyard Kipling?
Was there an album?
Yeah.
Mark?
Joe Cocker.
Thank you.
Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Thank you. And I spoke to an ex-Montrealer and McGill grad who was in town recently to receive an honorary doctorate from McGill and to give a convocation speech. It was a very fascinating interview, and that'll be in an upcoming edition of the Suburban.
Terrific. And I will see you Saturday, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Anthony. That was terrific as always. Coming up, Suburban Radio Hour will be Mike Cohen. But right now, before we get there, let's check in with the CDD Traffic Center.